disgusting. Okay, you know these have to go on flight mode.
Oh.
You act like you remember.
I was like, oh, it's on silent. We're good. Nope, now we are in an airplane. I've been listening to Kristen's album.
Who?
Kristen Platty. Do you remember her?
Oh, Chris.
Yeah,
okay,
you know
yeah.
Kristen.
Yeah. How is it?
It's amazing.
Is it on
It's
iTunes?
Actually, it's on iTunes. It's on Spotify.
Come on, sis.
I know. She's got it too. I'm acting as if we're talking here. She's got it. Well, you can actually probably hear me better.
Yeah. I worry about you sometimes. I really do.
I know. I've already been up and at work and had a client breakfast. We got a lot going on. I have a rehearsal later.
Oh, you're so... Oh,
because I haven't put on my Irish dance shoes since the winter, and I am leaving tomorrow morning for a tour.
Really?
Yeah, for a week. So I'll be out west for a week, out in California. There we go. I want to be able to see your face.
How do you have so much energy? Do you really wake up like this?
Well, no. Liz would definitely be like, no, he's dead to the world. It usually takes me a good, hour to get to this point. But once I take a shower, I'm good to go. Oh, and I'm getting my back lasered again today.
Okay.
That's where I have to be at 1:30. And I had to shave it this morning, so I really had to wake up and be, on.
You shaved your own back?
Yeah. Well, as much as I could.
Man, if this is recorded, this would be... Really? Oh, you should do it...
Well, because you have to do that prior to
Got
the
it.
lasering, and otherwise it hurts because I have gone in when I haven't done it properly.
And your hair must be dark because they can't do it off the line.
Right. Well, I've been doing it since March of last year. So I did 4 months, 3 months, and then stopped for 3 months, and then picked it back up again, and then stopped when I was away for tour, and then started it back up because I have 12 non-consecutive months of the treatment that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know when it's coming to a close yet, which probably... Actually, it might not be. I might be able to live it out till the summer. But the hair has definitely gotten lighter and thinner, which is really nice because it's supposed to get rid of all of the black hair, all of the really, really dark hair, because it just kills the follicle. But if it's light hair, it's not going to get rid of it. So I still have a little bit of back hair, but it's a lot lighter and a lot less full, which is nice. Because I wouldn't want to get it. I could get it here, on my chest.
Don't do that. That's ridiculous.
But I like my chest hair. It's my tummy hair that I don't like. Oh.
Okay, I cannot.
Especially if you say tummy.
Matt, are you ready for us?
Yes.
Are you ready? You read the stuff I sent you?
Yes, the whole conversation.
No, should I read it? I feel like I need to read it for context.
You do. She can remain unnamed.
Oh, of course. I'm not going to say her.
Okay.
Her maiden and her married name. I hope I don't blur her name out by accident, but whatever. All right. I'm going to start,
We'll
Matt.
call her Barb.
I get with you. Okay. Welcome to the Privy. I am Courtney, joined by all-time regular, I would say, but you haven't been on this season at all yet.
No, but I'm very excited to be on this season. I've been away and inaccessible.
Everyone welcome Connor back to the Privy.
Hi.
How have you been? How have you been?
Wonderful, thanks.
What's new?
A lot has been going on, both in my professional and personal life. Lots of traveling, actually. I'm leaving for LA tomorrow, about which I'm very excited because hopefully it's not going to be raining there anymore as it has been. And then, I took a trip to IKEA yesterday for the first time. I lost my IKEA virginity.
Wait, you've never been to IKEA?
I've never been to IKEA. Well, now I have, but I had never been to IKEA prior.
Shut up. What did
I've
you
ordered
think?
stuff from there, but I've never been to the actual store.
What did you think about it?
It was glorious.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
God, keep
Well,
going.
because I was just like, it was a kid in a candy store, and then I realized, I don't need this. So there was a practicality that came into play when I was walking through.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was with my neighbors too, and so they were buying stuff, so I couldn't selfishly take up most of their car. I mean, I still did, but I just needed to make sure that I got my essentials, what I needed, because I had to exchange something. I had to get some new stuff, because even though I've lived in my apartment for over almost 2 years now.
Has it really been that long?
Well, it'll be 2 years in September, so it's
So-
only been a
so
year
now-
and a half.
Exactly.
So close to 2 years. I've been there 11 months. No, I've been there like 18 months. But I have finally gotten around to really decorating everything. It's just been a work in progress because when I moved in, it was very, very bare.
Yeah, and
Because I wanted
Mama's busy. Mama got stuff to do. Mama is
very,
trying to pay the bills. Mama is
very.
traveling. Mama is trying to keep it all balanced. I understand.
I gotta keep this face out there. I gotta be meeting people all the time. Oh, here's one thing that's really exciting, just on my end with the.
And then we'll get into the
And then we'll
topic.
actually get into the topic. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. This is how I talk with all the sidetracks. But I'm super excited to see the final performance of Kinky Boots. I've never seen that.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of things I've never done,
Okay.
I am going to go see Kinky Boots because one of my friends is the executive assistant to the producer. And so I get to go to the very last performance.
When is it?
April 7th.
Oh.
I had to rebook my ticket back from Chicago for a bachelorette party that weekend.
Uh-huh.
I'm just missing brunch. I'm there for everything else
Yeah.
that weekend. And I've never seen that show, and it's leaving Broadway. And everyone who is anyone that had anything to do with that show is going to be there.
Yeah.
So I will be in the nosebleeds, probably drooling over everyone in the audience, as well as whatever's going on stage.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
You
and
have
it's
to
a day
tell me how
before my
it is.
birthday.
You have to tell me what you think of it. I went to see it when Billy Porter was the lead, and it was
Well, yeah,
so
and that's what
good.
he won his Tony for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I had never seen it. I didn't know anything about the story. You know, I'm not really. I'll go
I
on
have
air
no
and say I'm
idea
not a
about the story.
huge Broadway singing person. Like the singing, and I'm just not really that keen on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I went there, and it was fantastic. A lot of the Broadway shows I have actually seen.
You
by,
really
by
enjoyed.
trickery of it all. Like people trick me to get there, and I'm like, this is the setup. But
Blindfolded.
It actually was really...
That's where we're going tonight.
But it's actually good though. So yeah.
Well, and I want you to see Choir Boy, even though you might not be able to because it's closing soon. But I saw it on Saturday, and that was another phenomenal show. I went with a playwriting friend of mine who he really loves the playwright of that story. So Choir Boy was also. Anyway, I'm trying to get really off topic here,
We're doing
aren't I?
top 5. Okay, so so how do I want to start? Okay, so basically, a lot of people ask me how I come up with my topics. I remember at the end of season 1, there was a question. I asked for people to send in questions that I would answer, and that was the last episode I did. And a lot of the questions actually that poured in was like, how do you come up with these topics? And like, do you have a fear that like you'll never be able to come up with another topic again? Whatever.
Well, because you are quite successful coming up with all of these topics because at some point you could probably think, oh my gosh, I've already used this, but
you're
quite a creative individual.
Yeah, and a lot of times like topics will kind of evolve and things will change and things of that nature. Like usually what I do is I sit down and I kind of have these kind of creative processes and I write down everything that kind of like that I really want to like accomplish in terms of topics, and then I'll go to like the web and
for
I'll
the
go
season or.
Yeah, for the season or
Just
any
period.
topics that
Okay.
I find that are important and I think that we should be discussing. And then I'll go like online and I'll go to like the different news outlets or I'll go to Out Magazine or Advocate and kind of see what is like kind of trending and things of that nature. And then the other way, which is how this particular topic came about, is like just personal experience. So I don't know if you remember from the first season I did the episode on faggot where it was a actual
I hate
experience. I know it's a terrible term, but that's the name of the episode.
No. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a personal experience. So today's topic is very on the lines of that. It was a personal experience that happened to me, and I kind of struggled with whether or not I was going to share the story to listeners, but it was something that I've always wanted to kind of discuss and kind of dive deeper.
Because knowing the story too, it's not something that is limited to you.
Yes, exactly.
Not to take any
Exactly.
anything away from it. It's not a one-off event.
And you are such an intricate part of this because you are. Would you consider yourself religious, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Catholic.
Actively Catholic.
Actively
Yeah.
Catholic.
Now people can hate on that because I'm a shopping cart Catholic.
I don't know.
I'll
What
get
that
it.
means.
I'll get into that once we start talking.
Okay, got it. All right.
Also, by the way, when you mentioned Out Magazine, it reminded me of how I get that in print, Out and The Advocate. Like I get those in print, and do you know how I got those in print? It's because I ordered underwear from some company. I think it was Andrew Christian. And it was like, spend $35 on underwear and get a free subscription to these magazines. So go buy your underwear and also be educated.
Know what's going on in the world. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in Hawaii. It was fantastic. There for 8 days.
Oh, wow. Ohana.
And that was just a pause I gave to... Don't know what that was about.
To not acknowledge what I said.
Not just try to glaze over that. I was in Hawaii, and you should start going through social media, and Ellen Page was on the cover of Gay Times. Mm-hmm. If anyone follows me on Instagram, I just put like random stuff. It's like what I'm doing today. I'll do like little memes here. I'll do whatever. So I thought the cover was so epic, and I am such a big fan of Ellen Page right now.
Right now? Okay,
just probably over the past, 2 years. Ever since I saw the Gaycation on Viceland, I think it is. Vice.
Probably
Maybe it's just Vice. Is it Vice or Vice? Anyway.
Well, Viceland, I think, is their TV, because they have all of those different media outlets.
Yes.
Viceland is their actual cable network. So Vice is the entertainment capital.
Okay, so both. I was right. So, Ellen Page, she's done a lot with Gaycation, and she really just speaks out on LGBTQIA topics. And she's so passionate, and she does it in such a way that I admire, to where she's not super aggressive, but she doesn't back down. She says what she needs to say, but I think she does it in a way that's respectable.
She's not necessarily trying to make an argument.
Exactly.
Is that what you're, or get into an argument. She is making a stance. She is making a comment.
Exactly.
But she's not looking for it to necessarily, you could take this either two ways, but start a dialogue.
Right. Exactly.
It's more or less a stance.
Yeah, that's her stance, and I feel like it's genuine. I think unlike a lot of people in the public eye, I think sometimes when people kind of take stances, sometimes it's not always as genuine. But from her, I just feel like it's really genuine, and I really, really, really respect her. So while I was in Hawaii, I posted a picture of her Gay Times cover, and I put at the top icon. So I wrote it on as an icon.
Would you include her in your gay icons?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I should do another episode on that.
You should.
Gay icons.
You should.
Oh,
because
good idea.
And icons are always changing too.
Exactly.
Or let's just say people are always being added to that.
Yeah, exactly. So I posted that, and then I'm going to take a break from that. So I posted it. And so I have a friend who I briefly told you about over the phone the other day. Mm-hmm. Have a friend. We're both from... I probably shouldn't even say that.
We're going to call this friend Barb.
I
really am adamant on calling this person Barb.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So Barb...
Or should it be like a gender-neutral name?
Whatever. So Barb is a friend of mine from a long time ago. I won't even go into detail because I just don't want people to
for the sake of anonymity.
Yeah.
We're going to keep Barb's identity secret.
Known her from a long time. We both...
You grew up in the South.
Yeah, grew up in the South.
Vague enough.
We both lived in L.A., which this is... I'm just basically giving it away. I was just say her name in her social.
Oh, yeah. Her full name's Barbara.
So we both lived on the West Coast. We both moved here. We used to be very, very tight, spoke every single day. Lives were very intertwined. It was to the point where I would go to her job. She worked this, third shift job. But it was actually a really cool job. No. It was a really cool job that I won't say, but it was a really cool job. Let's say a concierge type of a job, basically. Where I would actually go to her job and just hang out. So that was the level of closeness that we were at. We were inseparable. I would spend the night.
You would hang out at her place on shift.
Yeah.
On her third shift.
Yeah.
Because you're a night owl anyway.
Yeah.
It's 2 p.m. Courtney's just waking up.
Exactly. 2 a.m. Oh, 2 p.m. You mean waking? Okay, whatever. Anyway,
do we have caffeine in here?
The moments. So, what has changed in our friendship is that she has, I guess the term is, she's saved now.
Saved is one term. I think that's the one that you Yeah, saved pretty much is she had her come to Jesus moment.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so she
In her spiritual life.
Yes, so she has become very religious.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to a church here in the city, which may come out, but I'm gonna try not to say it. She goes to
The one that Justin Bieber
yes,
goes
yeah. She goes to a very mega church here. I've been a couple of times. Yes, so her life has kind of changed. I don't. Our lives has just changed. We've just grown apart from that and the things that I do, and our lives has just kind of evolved. But we always kind of keep it cute. We always like catch up maybe like once a year or so, but like we always like kind of follow each other on social media and like send each other messages when she's in like when she'll go through my hometown, she'll message me, vice versa. It's kind of that sort of thing. I went to her wedding a couple of years ago, the whole bang. So we have that.
Yeah.
Going back to the post that I made.
In Hawaii. So this is all. So mind you, the relationship was not peripheral up until Hawaii. Like it was, even though you spoke less frequently, it was still engaged. And,
yeah.
Okay.
I would respond to something she posted, vice versa.
While you drifted apart, you still remained semi.
Happy birthdays. When I can remember, I'm really bad at people's birthdays. Yeah, all that. Like I consider, and even to this day, I consider it a friendship. And we'll get to like the evolution and like kind of advice because I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted that, and then I get a reply to my Instagram story.
Mm-hmm.
Her reply was, she just spouted a bunch of seriously untrue stuff about our church. Such a bummer, but because she has such a substantial platform, no one will unhear it. So I go, it kind of caught me off guard. I almost flipped out, but I said, hold on.
Because when was the last time that you talked to her, too?
I don't even really know.
Okay. Not to make this specific instance like the main point of our conversation.
It's just one of those things for me, and I've actually had to catch myself on stuff like this. Like people will post something, and I'm typing like, "How dare you?" But I realize it's their social media. Like if I want to have a conversation, you take it offline. You maybe ask somebody for coffee, and you have a discussion about it if it moves you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I thought about it for a while, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna go there. Like, so I say, sorry, babe, haven't heard that. I love her for her work with LGBTQ rights. That was it. That's what I said. So I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever. Avoided it. She responds, good, that's awesome. Let's hope she starts speaking from a place of fact so that she can help even more people.
Because she wants to start a fight. Because Barb is ready. Barb's defensive.
Well, no, Barb was in her feelings, which we are all entitled to that. I get it. So again, I almost left it alone. But
yes,
then
but she doesn't want to leave it alone. That's the thing. In that response, she's not leaving it alone.
So I had no idea what she was referring to. I wasn't informed, actually. So I was like, what is she talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like legit walking on the beach. And I decided, I was like, you know what? Let me Google this. I'm sure it's going to come up. And so part of the article is that she called out, what's his name, Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt, as in
the one that used to be married to
Anna Faris. Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris Pratt goes to this church. Basically, you can just Google the church and find out. He goes to this
Hillsong.
They go to this church, and basically, I think he was on a late night show. Something happened. I don't know all the details, but I know she tweeted it's an anti-LGBTQ church or anti-LGBT church, and kind of called him to task almost about it. And so in the article, they reference that a former pastor of Hillsong did a blog post, and it was titled, "Do I Love Gay People?" That was the title of the blog post. And in quotes, the article points out in this blog post that a former pastor
Spoiler, it's not just one word.
Yeah. So, Hillsong Church welcomes all people but does not affirm all lifestyles. Put clearly, we do not affirm a gay lifestyle, and because of this, we do not knowingly have actively gay people in positions of leadership, either paid or unpaid. So I will say, this was back in 2015, so this was 3 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw that and I just screenshot it because
I'd also be curious, why is he a former pastor?
oh yeah, well, I'm whatever.
Let's dig deep
I'm
into that.
I'm not in that congregation. I don't know.
Okay.
For me, it was just like, oh, okay. So my thinking was, oh, okay. Well, maybe she's. I don't know what the fact or whatever was that she said that she spouted or that were untrue. Or I guess
That
not a
Ellen
fact.
did.
Yes,
That
that
Barb
that
said
Barb
Ellen
said that
did.
Ellen did.
Okay.
But I know that from this, I can see why anybody from the LGBTQ community could be kind of like standoffish towards that.
Yeah.
Correct? Like
Yeah.
and that's with anything. That's like a company that like
Well,
that's like the
because
guy
what
who
they're-
released
I
the
mean,
statement for Victoria's Secret. Like
Right.
he messed it up for all people in the Victoria's Secret. No, that may not be the reflection of everyone in the
So
congregation.
did Mike Jeffries for Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I send that screenshot and I just put, is this false? This probably was a little petty on my part too. Like I'm still a work in progress.
I mean, at that point in time, though, that was your invitation. You
Yeah,
were
so
were
it's
accepting.
like-
You RSVP'd yes to
Yes.
Barb's fight. to Barb's fight.
So I go to her, is this false? Screenshot, is this false? Her response to this was, what this very biased article is trying to say is that we believe in what the Bible says about marriage being between a man and a woman, which is not groundbreaking news. It's what most churches believe. The Bible also says that anyone who has ever had a lustful thought in their brain is a sinner, which includes me and every other person on the planet. So there's no division. Like, I'm right and you're wrong. It's simply that we are all on a journey and Jesus loves us all. However, Ellen said that we are anti-gay, which is untrue. We have lots of gay people in our church that feel loved, welcome, volunteer, etc., and that we practice gay conversion therapy, which is disgusting. So my response to that was, I had no question about that. I know the beliefs. Wait, I must have retyped. I must type this wrong. Oh, okay. Yeah, clearly I didn't proofread
I have
this.
so many thoughts going through my head. So once you're ready, let me know.
Mine was in reference to leadership and not having anyone that is knowingly gay as leaders. That speaks volumes.
Right, because
And
she
then-
just jumped off on a completely different point.
Right.
You were solely
I'm
she
just
wanted to
completely-
argue about something else.
So I go, and that, my dear, is disgusting. Which is, again, petty. I shouldn't have did. My dear was just so, like, below the belt. Like, my dear or sweetie, it's just like, you should never go there. And to be clear, being gay isn't a lifestyle or choice, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate when people compare a lifestyle to, like, a lustful sin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that much about religion and the Bible and its teachings, but just don't do that, because I feel like that's just like, ugh, like, that ain't cute. And so she responds, that was in 2015 and was a fact at that time. We do have gay people in leadership now. We also, for a while, didn't have almost any women in leadership, which now it's almost 50-50. There are lots of areas like that we are working on. We are actively trying to break a very broken mold that has been set by the church for many years. I think the work we've done to reverse the years of damage caused by the church is commendable and still on a journey of its own. And I wholeheartedly believe that being gay isn't a choice. I chose not to reply, and I have not spoken to her since. And
No need to.
And I probably will. Hopefully I will have I don't know. You tell me.
You'll see what happens.
Basically, I just shared this too. It's always been hard for me personally to have friends that are super religious. And I remember meeting you. Our mutual friend Angela told me about you, and actually that was one of the things that she told me about you. I was like, oh my God, that's like so cool. And I've been wanting to do an episode centered around religion and homosexuality for.
And we've known each other for how
Yeah,
long?
but I've
And
never-
we're finally
yeah.
actually talking about
Yeah,
it.
but I also think religion is very similar to politics. It's like, you got to be very respectful. You need to use your words wisely. You need to be, like, I never want to be disrespectful. Like, it is not my motive now to, like, bag on Hillsong or or what have you, or just deem them as like these awful people. I will say from personal experience, having been to the church with her, having been to her wedding, I don't get a sense of welcome. Whether that has anything to do with like
Was her
maybe
wedding like in a Hillsong ceremony?
it was out of town. It was in the South.
Okay.
And a lot of her, I think maybe her pastor with them. I think so. Yeah. And a lot of them were there.
Okay.
And it did feel like a disconnection. But listen, completely honestly, that could be me imposing, just feeling like, this is so uncomfortable for me. Or,
But wait a second, that was before any of this.
Oh yeah.
Conversation.
Oh
This
yeah,
was years ago.
Yeah, this was years ago.
Yeah, so
But
I mean,
I always felt that. I've
yeah.
always felt that. And then I've been to churches where I actually felt welcome. Some that are in the South, some are in LA, like some all over.
Mhm.
So for me, I just felt like it's a little bit. It's just not for me, basically.
Mhm.
So I just ended the conversation. I don't feel like it's good to engage in a deep conversation about something like that with someone you care about, and because it could have spiraled, because I can get crazy when it comes to
and especially having a conversation that deep over
Instagram.
Yeah,
DM.
first off, this was in a DM. She slipped into your DMs.
Mhm.
But even on the phone, period, whether it's texting or a phone call, because that's always my greatest fear whenever I'm arguing. I choose not to argue with anybody over the phone unless it's absolutely necessary to do it via phone call and
Right.
not in person, because with the phone call, you have the ability to just hang up.
Yeah.
And that gives me intense anxiety.
Right.
So do it in person, because
Right.
then not only do you get the opportunity to have a little bit more time and to be able to develop more thoughts and get everything out right when you were there, but also be able to see body language and how they're communicating with you, because the communication is so much more than just words.
Right.
It's also the way that it's delivered. What's the cadence? Like when you said "my dear," even little things like that.
Yeah, that was
you
so
could have.
yeah.
But see,
it
I
heightened in the
I
moment.
say "dear" in a different way for the most part.
Yeah.
Mine is like endearing.
Yeah.
Where in that case it was definitely below the belt, like
Yeah.
honey.
A little like honey, get it
Mhm.
together.
Yeah,
the
condescending.
Yeah. So the question to you is, how do you maintain a friendship with someone that you don't believe personally support your lifestyle? And is that possible? And I've done an episode like this, I think, in season 1 or season 2,
Mhm.
where it was my co-host at the time kind of was in a situation like that, and I just was like upset by the fact that he wasn't more vocal about it. But like, what are your stances on that? I mean, I've always kind of strayed away from people that are religious, to be completely honest with you.
Because you assume that.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
assume it, but
Mhm.
based on like what I know from the Bible and
Mhm.
like things like that, and knowing how people think and feel, I never want to be. If you can't take me for all of it, then you can't have me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't
Right.
accept all of who I am, I mean, this would be someone that I would love to have at my wedding. When I get married, hopefully a ring is coming soon. It's really not, relax. But then that's just like, I have all these doubts now about like friendship, and I'm like, oh, like, do I want someone like this in my life? And I'm very serious about like energy and like who I surround myself with and love and that support, because this for me is not a choice. It's such a big part of who I am, and so I don't know how to move forward, or like, I need to figure out how I maintain this. So you go.
Well, in an instance with this person, and with Barb, I think your friendship has run its course.
Oh,
Not to say that I am supposed to be the Delilah
What day?
of your podcast,
Yeah.
or tell you what to do or
Yeah.
where it's going. When it comes to anybody, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go broad, and then I'm going to go in, and then I'm probably going to go back out with what I'm going to say.
Okay.
So with any relationship, you're constantly developing. And when it comes to, like, let's say when that guy gives you that ring, when he gets down on one knee and you say yes,
We probably won't do that.
hopefully.
I'm hoping that we don't do that, but we'll get into that. in
Oh,
another
okay.
episode.
Well, I want to be proposed to, but okay.
I don't need the knee. I just want like just a really nice ring. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fine. You're more materialistic. I'm more gesture.
Oh God, it's harsh. Go back to the.
I'm kidding. I'm
I know,
totally
I don't
kidding.
care. I don't give a shit. I am so.
No, so going on the going a little bit broader. People are always changing and always developing, and when you do find that individual with whom you're willing to take them flaws and all, and who's willing to take you flaws and all, it's always there. The perfect relationship is one that can evolve and change with each other. And when it comes to any sort of friendship, then let's say that specifically these types of relationships, when you find out that there is some fundamental difference that you two possess, there is no need to maintain that, unfortunately, depending upon how important that facet of your being is. So, as an example, coming from personal experience, when, you got to just take me for who I am. And the loud, obnoxious, energetic, sassy individual that I can be, if you don't like that, I'm going to read that right away, and there's no point to try and force anything there. Now, when it comes to having any sort of deep conversation in regards to this of someone who does not believe in my being, in my personhood, in who I am, there's no need to surround myself with them whatsoever.
Right.
When I was a freshman at Notre Dame, I just threw that out there. Well, this happened at Notre Dame, okay? One of America's preeminent Catholic universities. I was harassed at a football game, sexually harassed, and that horrified me. It was my first semester.
Sexually harassed by a male or female?
Males.
Okay.
Males behind me.
Oh, wow.
At the game. And I almost left the school.
Oh, wow.
And I had to, I talked with my resident priest, my rector, and aside from the specifics of the actual story, he said, you're going to encounter these people wherever you go. Notre Dame has its flaws. Everywhere you go, people are going to have their flaws. Nothing and no one is perfect, but you need to learn to surround yourself with good people. And that being said, going out again, you'll surround yourself with, and this is the hard part now that I'm thinking about it, especially with social media and all of these algorithms.
Yeah.
You surround yourself with the exact same stuff and people with the same ideology.
Yeah.
So how do you really open yourself up to new thoughts and new ideas? And it's engaging in conversations with people that don't necessarily need to be your friends.
Right.
They can be your adversaries, but you can have a decent, educated, and mature conversation about things.
Right.
So you and Barb, I'm sure that you guys could have more discussions about this in specific response to this. But I have had conversations with certain individuals, and I also refuse to have conversations with other people within who were raised within the same Catholic church, not the specific parish, because, okay, the Catholic Church is huge. Hillsong's huge. Catholic Church has 1.2 billion people in it, supposedly.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that every single person is going to abide by and necessarily believe every single facet of the catechism. And the catechism was also, the church itself was also founded by, it was created while it was founded by Christ, and Peter was the rock on which, he wanted to build his church. We're human.
Yeah.
And part of being human and part of humanity is that it's flawed.
Yeah.
It is imperfect, and we are constantly trying to work on it.
Right.
But in the case of like this specific scenario, it's like, yes, we're working on it, and look what we've done to make ourselves better. Okay, great, but where does your fundamental stance lay?
Right.
Because
You saying about me or Barb?
Barb.
Okay, got it.
About Barb, or any individual in this case, because I have an acquaintance with whom I went to college, and I was friends with him, and after we graduated, we definitely grew apart, but he was very close with this other girl who since came out and is in a long-term live-in relationship with her girlfriend, probably soon to be fiance. And she was not invited. She and her fiance could not be invited to the wedding because of his
Wow.
family's religious
Wow.
beliefs. And if he was friends enough with her, you'd think that he would get over that
Wow.
because it's not about
So
them.
in a
It's
case
about
like
him.
that, does she cut him out of her life?
I don't know. I don't really talk to her that much.
But I'm saying, like, if that was your friend and she asked you
Yeah.
for about. So for me, it's like with Barb, right? I have no ill will. I'm not even upset. I'm not whatever. And it's so funny that you have given me this advice because that's what I would give to someone else. Like, listen, it's rent a course.
Because you don't want to take it.
Yeah,
You do
I
not
like.
want to
Yeah,
take your own advice.
I know it's so
tough.
interesting. It's so interesting because I also feel like there is a part of me, which is what I try to accomplish with the Privy podcast, is I don't. While I'm in a very different place, and I do love to be around my people now more than so than ever before. I also think it's important to have friends from different walks of life so you can kind of bridge the gap. And so I would hope
And expose
maybe
yourself to new ideas and new
yeah,
ideologies.
yeah. I mean, am I ever going to be a member? Absolutely not. But like, there might be a level of discipline that I may see that she does that she's learned from church that I could then pass on to my children. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
right.
just.
I
Like,
mean, you're agreeing to disagree.
Right. Right.
But if that disagreement is something so fundamental to your being,
yeah.
why this just? I mean, logically, it just makes sense. It's run its course, and that's just the way that life works because you're going to meet more people. And they're going to come in and they're going to go out, and it's those five, maybe probably five. I mean, I'm just going to say five because I have 5 fingers. Well, I have 2 hands, but
I can't with you.
You're going to have 5 friends, 5 true friends that you will probably maintain for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But people come and they go, and yet you have no ill will.
Yeah.
But you agree to disagree.
Yeah, reason, season, or lifetime. Question to you. So you're a member of the church here, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
How is
Not
that?
Hillsong, but yeah.
So
The Catholic Church.
they
yeah.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm just trying to be cautious and tasteful. So
Yeah, did you know that's what the T stands for? My middle name?
Have you ever you ever been in church and felt uncomfortable by someone that you don't think is comfortable with your sexuality?
Always growing up, I felt everyone.
But as a grown up, like no.
Oh, as a grown up, no.
Yeah, as you are
because I
now.
surround myself. Well,
Well,
okay,
no, hold on. You can't.
That is a lie.
Exactly.
I've been at weddings. I have been at weddings where I know and I can feel it and I can see it and I say fuck it. I am who I am. And
you say it to yourself, or you say it?
I say it to myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a bit much. That's a bit much, Connor. Come on, let's have a little respect.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, if you said "fuck it" like out loud to the
person,
yeah,
who,
like
oh.
fuck it. That's what I was like. Now hold on, let's be very clear for the
No, because are
listeners.
you kidding me? They're too intimidated to come up to me and even have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, so you should say "fuck it" and you should live your life.
I say fuck it and I live my life because I'm here having an absolute blast at a wedding, celebrating the love of 2 of my friends and somebody who's probably related to you. Because
Yeah.
usually it's a family member.
How do you separate that? Like how, and these are all like personal questions I always like.
But
wondered
that's
about.
also
Cause, like-
difficult
cause,
because
like, for
how
me-
do you separate it?
Yeah, because like, okay, let's say I were to meet I've met your father. They're great. I mean, your people are absolutely amazing. I haven't met your mom yet. I met your brother.
You
2
met
of your brothers.
You
right?
met everybody except my mother.
Yeah.
Yes. My
And
mother knows who you are.
absolutely lovely. Like without a shadow of doubt, just these good like people. But like, let's say for an example, they were like just awful. Like,
I mean, honestly,
just
my
like-
dad's still working on it.
well, I mean, I would never be able to tell.
Yeah.
But like, going into a situation like that is hard for me. Like to have a friend that like even parents,
Mhm.
like I'm wondering, and this is like probably none of my business, but I'll wonder like, well, what's going on at home? Like if they brought me up, are you going to defend me or like what is your stance on it? And for me, that just makes me feel so uncomfortable
Mhm.
to know that I could have somebody in my life who is even attached, whether it be family, friends, or what have you, who is not going to come to bat for like my lifestyle. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So in that case, do you have any ill will? Do you feel a certain way about the person that is the mutual party between you two. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you meet someone that's uncomfortable with your lifestyle. You can sense it, but it is one of your friends.
Oh.
Is there a judgment on that person too? Or do you just say, hey, different strokes for different folks? Because for me, that's hard.
I don't think I've ever been put in that situation because I know that the individual would go to bat for me.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Because I'm that important to them.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but I'm...
Beep, beep. You definitely did.
Let's be honest. It's more of like a honk honk. It's one of those loud semis. That's my horn. You know I'm coming. No, I've never been in that situation because I think what that priest told me, shout out to Father Doyle.
Yes, Father Doyle.
Yes, surround yourself with good people. And I mean, even the church, the Catholic Church is still, without going, because that's not the topic, because that can be a whole other, what the church's stance is and how I'm a shopping cart Catholic, because it's still.
Well, explain that, because you did mention it at the.
I pick and choose what I believe.
Oh, you messy.
Yeah, and I mean, some people would argue that means that you're not Catholic, and it's like, well, we're working on it. It's like going into the gym. Faith is all about the struggle. It's a relationship too.
Yeah.
It's just like a relationship. You're always working at it.
Well, that brings up a really good point. Then the pick and choose. So I posted something on my Instagram the other day, on the Privy Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I don't know scriptures and stuff like that. I think it was in a book of.
Well, I don't know either because that's really hard for me because I reading the Bible and stuff and like interpreting what it says and then what the church says of what it says can be so difficult because, again, it's made by men. It's made by
flesh.
Not only it's made by flesh. Exactly.
Okay. So
flawed humans.
Leviticus also said no
Leviticus.
Did I say it wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Leviticus?
There's a
Leviticus.
second I in there.
I didn't see this eye, y'all. I promise y'all I can read. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Leviticus also said no haircuts, but I guess we are skipping that one, right?
Right,
So like,
the whole thing with, like Samson.
Yeah. So with that, like, since you're a shopping cart Catholic, is that a fair argument when people like say things like that? Like there are a lot of things in the Bible, like you have to stay with your husband, or they don't believe in divorce and stuff like that.
Right.
Like is
that's
that
the whole,
like a fair
Orthodox Judaism with like the
Yeah.
600 and some rules of the
Is that
the
a fair
Jewish
argument
Bible?
when?
No, I don't think. Well, keep going.
No,
I
keep
don't-
going.
I don't think my argument's fair.
No, not yours.
Oh.
I mean, someone's argument that would say that, like, hey, the Bible says this, but you don't say anything about that. Is that a fair argument with homosexuality as well? Does that make sense? I don't know what the Bible says. The Bible says a man should not lay with another man, correct? Something
Right.
like that?
Right.
So it's chiming on something like this example. Is it a fair argument?
Wow.
I don't.
I don't know because it's almost as if you're comparing apples to oranges because
Right.
is hair as important as
Because I would
sexuality?
be doing the same thing that Barb did to me.
Yeah.
You see how that comes back?
Yeah.
How she was like, oh, like lustful thoughts and blah, 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 where I took offense to that because I think it's way more important to me. But is that just something personal? You know?
Well, also one thing that I would be coming to terms with too is the sharing of the body because at the end of the day, the two greatest pieces that you have in your life to give to anybody are time and physically your body.
And
Is
this
not.
is this in the Bible or is this just
This is me.
This is
the
the
book of Connor.
The book of Connor.
This is the
Okay,
book
got
of
it.
Connor. And God is love to me. Okay, this is all me. I'm not like trying to say anything to you, but to me, God is love. Love is God with like a capital L. That's why I have a tattoo on my hip that says "Be God's love," because to me, the sharing of my body and the sharing of my body is the ultimate gift that I truly can give to someone. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, this is literally what I have. I have time, and I have my body.
Right.
And on the cross, Jesus gave that to us. Jesus
Right.
literally gave his body to us
Mm.
and hopes that we would then, out of love, give ourselves fully and completely to other people because it's about being filled and being emptied and emptying it out to everybody else. So for me, love is love is love is love.
Yeah.
And my sharing of that. Now I can't say, I can't say I fall every once in a while and I'm not not giving myself out of love.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself out of lust. Then that's my mistake,
Yeah.
and that's more self-deprecating than deprecating the other individual or
Got it.
even the situation itself. So that's an argument to go along with like the man not laying with a man.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, well, that's an argument, and then the Bible is supposed to be or said to be inspired in an inspired text, so it was written with the help of the Holy Spirit
So when you visit
by
churches,
men. Well,
okay,
I
so-
pretty much just go to one.
okay, so you don't ever visit churches.
I mean, I don't make a point to go around to
Why?
because I like St. Paul's.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was going to ask
Well, because
you.
they have a very big out community.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask
Yeah.
you. So would you seek that out, or you would just feel comfortable going anywhere to any Catholic church?
I would seek that out.
Oh, you would.
I would seek
You
that
think
out.
is that and that's
Oh,
important for
yeah,
you?
because to be honest, I loathe going to my home parish in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh.
I do not like it
Why
because
is
I
that?
have felt judged there since I was in grade
Got
school.
it. Okay, got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to a young Catholic LGBTQ?
Know that there's a community there for you. You have to do a little bit more work to find it,
Yeah.
but they're there, and we're all working on it. We're always working on it.
Yeah.
And even the people who may be judging you, let judgers judge, but they are working on it too. Just know that you are loved, and you've got to just take a little bit extra effort. It sucks. It very much sucks, but they will have to work on it, and they're ultimately unhappy in some way, and you're looking to find that happiness, and you have to work to find it.
What a good end to the episode.
Thanks.
Oh God, here we go. Okay, tell everyone-
Sorry, we are back to the Connor Show. I'm off my soapbox now.
Speaking of Connor's show, tell everyone about.
Oh,
do you want
Connor's Corner.
Yes.
Yes. So like we were like Courtney and I were mentioning a little bit at the beginning with stuff in pop culture and entertainment, I also have another podcast on which I'm working with
Which is
various
his
individuals, which
podcast.
is my podcast, my personal podcast. It's called Connor's Corner, and it's pretty much conversations like this, but anything that's going on in pop culture, whether that be music, theater, film, television, anything entertainment, books. Not so much gossip, but it's me, so expect
You
that.
do books as well.
Yeah.
What books have you done?
Well, we're working on. So it's again in the play. It's in the works.
I was about to say, I was like, this mother.
This motherfucker, he ain't got his shit
Talk about a
together.
damn book. I have never heard anything about a book. What's the Connor's Corner? Where can they
Connor's
find
Corner.
it?
They can currently find it on SoundCloud. We have the royal we have no image yet. The royal we is me, myself, and I.
Oh yeah. I do that all the time on posts. Like it's mainly just me.
Yeah.
Um,
But soon to be on anywhere that you can find your podcasts, being iTunes, SoundCloud.
got it. Okay. I was trying
Yeah.
to be more specific. Okay. And then how can they find you on Instagram?
Oh, I'm just The Real Reader, but we should probably make a different podcast Instagram. But find me at The Real Reader, so TheRealReider. That's me.
Oh God! Thank you for being here. You can always catch me at the Privy Podcast on all social media.
Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, yes, on all
Do you
social
have
media.
Pinterest?
I do not, and I don't do anything on Twitter. So I
Oh, okay.
apologize. It's a work.
Mhm.
What did you say? It's a work in progress.
Work in progress.
Work in
I didn't say that. You said that.
Yes,
You called yourself a work.
work in progress.
A WIP, baby. That's what we all are.
Un-
Whips.
Until next. Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
You are absolutely insane. You know that? Absolutely insane.
I mean, would you expect anything less?
Like,
I gotta pee before we do anything, because I also have to get some photogs. Matt, how was that? Were we beautiful?
Great. Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I just realized I have on red, like the. Look at me. Oh, God. What a day. Okay, sit down so I can get some footage.
Yeah, we need a candid photo too. I want to put that on my gram.
A candid photo?
Yeah.
What is that?
Have you heard of Candid?
Yes, I know what candid is, but how are we going to do a candid photo? That would mean that, like, we don't know it's happening.
Right, so Matt can take it for us.
Yeah, again, we still know he's going to take it, you weirdo.
I will take it at a surprising time.
Oh, is that?
I'll sneak it.
Can you focus?
This idiot at management, hold on.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, Matt. He thinks the world revolves around him.
It does.
You're a bitch.
Just kidding. No, I just need to send management is an idiot, and I'm like.
Is management like your new dude? Is that like a code word for?
No, management of the apartment.